I think I can take him out. I think Belal really just changes stances a lot, walks forward. But I think if I can have someone that just stays in the same stance, and I don't think Islam's the very good striker. I think I could land a lot of shots, and I think I could take it.
Jack Della Maddalena has recently sent a serious message to Islam Makhachev ahead of their much-anticipated clash. Meanwhile, Gilbert Burns voiced his support for Makhachev's move to welterweight, saying that 170 pounds appears to be a more natural division for him, especially given his struggles cutting down to 155. Burns praised Islam as one of the leading pound-for-pound fighters in the world, but emphasized that a fight with Della Maddalena would be far closer than many fans might expect. He also highlighted that Jack has been training with elite names such as Alexander Volkanovski and Craig Jones, giving him invaluable preparation and insight. Although Burns admitted he hasn't fully broken down the matchup yet, he believes it will be highly competitive and exciting for fans.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I've proven himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're gonna have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think, and JDM has a clear shot.
Jack Della Maddalena, however, said he views Islam Makhachev as a formidable opponent and expects him to handle the move to welterweight well, but he doubts Makhachev will stay at 170 pounds for long. He predicted it would likely be just one fight before Islam returns to lightweight due to how circumstances might unfold. When asked how he envisions the matchup, Jack expressed confidence in his ability to win. He explained that Belal Muhammad often switches stances while advancing, but against someone like Makhachev, who maintains a more consistent stance, he feels confident about his chances. Jack also criticized Islam's striking, saying he doesn't rate it highly, and believes he can land clean shots repeatedly to secure a stoppage victory.
I think he just seems like a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
I think he'll be all right.
Yeah. You think he'll stick around at 170, or do you think it's just...
I think he'll be one fight, and then he'll probably have to go back down.
Because of how it'll go?
Yeah.
How do you see it playing out?
I think I can take him out. I think Belal really just changes stances a lot, walks forward. But I think if I can have someone that just stays in the same stance, and I don't think Islam's the very good striker. I think I could land a lot of shots, and I think I could take him out.
Wow.
If I get taken down, I believe I can get back to my...
Additionally, Ian Machado Garry praised Islam Makhachev, saying that if he moves up to welterweight to fight for the championship, every contender in the division should take him seriously. Garry described Islam as an exceptionally skilled and dangerous competitor who can create serious problems for any rival. He believes that without the strain of cutting weight, Islam may perform even better, making his already elite abilities even more effective. Garry added that Makhachev represents the modern mixed martial artist, intelligent, technical, composed under pressure, and a genuine threat to any opponent.
And if that man turns up and says, I want to be next, then I think everyone in the welterweight division goes, okay. He's an absolute disaster for everyone in the division if he comes up and doesn't have to cut weight. He'll still be big, he'll still be strong. He's the perfect example of the new evolution of fighters.
Robert Whittaker noted that it's difficult to predict exactly how Islam Makhachev will adapt to the welterweight division, as stepping into a new weight class always brings unpredictability. He explained that such transitions are hard to judge because both the physical demands and the strategic elements can change significantly. Still, Whittaker expressed confidence in Makhachev's skill set, saying he can match everything Belal Muhammad offers, but with better accuracy and at a higher overall quality.
Definitely, but like I said, it is hard to try to get like an accurate gauge on what it's going to look like, not knowing how Islam is going to look when he moves up. Okay, it's always the question everybody asks when anybody is moving up a weight division or down a weight division. Okay, there's so many unknowns involved. But saying that, I think that Islam can do everything that Belal does, but way better. Okay, way.
Robert Whittaker also shared his view on Jack Della Maddalena's most recent performance, saying that although Jack was the rightful winner, the fight was competitive from start to finish. He believes a future matchup between Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev would be a demanding challenge for both fighters. However, Whittaker expressed confidence in Jack's potential, praising his determination, toughness, and what he called an unpredictable spark that sets him apart. Just as Jack proved himself against Belal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns, Whittaker feels he could rise to the occasion once again for another difficult test.
The fight, I thought Jack handedly had the fight, but it was a fight. Okay, so I don't think it'll be an easy fight for Jack, but I believe in Jack. I think he's got that X factor. He's got that hunger there. You know, he's got the ticker, and you know, just like with Belal, just like with Burns before, I think he can do the impossible.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson spoke about the potential challenges Islam Makhachev might face if he moves up to welterweight. He explained that while Islam is naturally strong, many welterweights cut from well over 205 pounds, making size and power a serious obstacle. Thompson noted that although Jack Della Maddalena may only hold a slight height advantage, the real challenge lies in the overall physicality of the division. He praised Islam's elite-level grappling, but also pointed out that Jack has already faced strong wrestlers such as Belal Muhammad. Thompson admitted that it would not be an easy task for Islam, but said he's very intrigued by the matchup and hopes the promotion makes it happen.
If you're going up to the welterweight division, those are some big boys. And I know Islam Makhachev walks around fairly heavy, but a lot of these 170s, they walk around real heavy. I'm talking about, over 205, 210 to 215. Some of the guys that I've faced would walk around at that weight. I think like the height, I think they might be the same height. I think JDM might be a little taller, but when it comes to those guys and their strength, Islam, I think, is going to have a tough time. Now, do I think he could get it done? Yes. I think he's that good of a grappler. But like I said, JDM has faced some of the best welterweight grapplers and wrestlers in the division. Islam, Belal being one of them. I think it's going to be a tough night for him. I would like to see Islam fight Topuria. That's just me. I would love to see that fight happen. But if he comes up, we'll see what the UFC gets behind. And we all know you got to convince the UFC to make it happen. And you do that first by getting on Twitter, shouting it out, and get people talking about it. And that's what Islam did. So we'll see if that fight happens with
Dan Hardy shared his thoughts on Jack Della Maddalena's rise, recognizing his remarkable talent, but questioning whether he can truly dominate the welterweight division as the competition continues to improve. Hardy applauded Jack's performance against Belal Muhammad, but was more skeptical about how Islam Makhachev would perform at 170 pounds. While Hardy respects Islam's dominance at lightweight, he doesn't see him overcoming Della Maddalena at welterweight. He voiced concerns about whether Islam could handle the physical demands of the heavier division, particularly the size gap and the endurance needed for a 5-round fight.
I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or, he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachev, though. I think Makhachev holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, on any day, including Ilia Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have much success against Makhachev. But Della Maddalena looked very, very sharp against Belal. And I wonder what Makhachev would look like as a welterweight, whether he would look as strong and as lean or whether he would look heavier and, potentially gas himself out because he'd be stepping straight into a 5-round fight, wouldn't he?
Henry Cejudo predicted that Islam Makhachev would defeat Jack Della Maddalena and claim a second UFC title, calling it the natural next step in building Islam's legacy. On the other hand, Kamaru Usman backed Jack, praising his composure inside the octagon and saying he believes Jack has the tools to successfully retain his welterweight belt. Both Cejudo and Usman noted that the fight is likely to take place in October in Abu Dhabi, which means any plans for a potential matchup between Makhachev and Ilia Topuria are on hold for now.
I think Islam Makhachev is going to beat him. I think he's going to become the 11th double champ in UFC history.
Islam tweeted, "Keep it shiny, keep it nice for me." JDM, it was kind of like the perfect comeback. He was just like, yeah, come get it.
Keep my belt clean. Okay, so the talking has begun, dude. That fight is set. That fight's going to take place in October, Abu Dhabi. I think we all know that. We're no longer going to get Ilya versus Islam Makhachev just...
Ali Abdelaziz confirmed that Islam Makhachev will be fighting for the official welterweight title this year, not an interim belt. He explained that Della Maddalena is the current champion, but if Jack cannot compete, another fighter will step in to face Makhachev for the crown. Abdelaziz stated that this approach has already been approved by the UFC leadership, including Dana White and Hunter Campbell. He also added that one of the conditions for Islam's move to welterweight was that if Jack were injured, the championship would be vacated to ensure a title fight. While he hopes Jack stays healthy, Abdelaziz made it clear the company is fully prepared to proceed with a welterweight title contest regardless.
Islam and Jack.
Islam fighting for the title this year. The non-interim title, a title. Jack Maddalena is the champion, but if Jack is not available, it will be someone else fighting Islam for the title. That's what the UFC told me. That's what Dana told me. That's what the Hunters, everybody said. And that was one of the stipulations. If Islam go up, Jack get injured, and I hope he's healthy, and he seemed like he's healthy, this title will be vacated and Islam will fight for welterweight.
Javier Mendez said it's difficult to determine whether Della Maddalena would present a tougher test, but he stressed that Islam Makhachev wants the fight and is fully prepared for it. Mendez praised Islam's skill and relentless dedication, saying he operates on a completely different level compared to anyone Jack has faced before. He emphasized that if the matchup happens, fans will see Makhachev at his very best. Mendez also noted that moving up to welterweight suits Islam's body type perfectly, as he will no longer be undersized and will become a powerful and highly competitive force in the division.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say if he's a harder challenge. I just know Islam wants this one. So for me, that's the challenge I want, and it's the challenge that I know Islam's going to be, supreme over, because I just know his skill set. I know what he brings to the table, and he brings an incredible work ethic along with skill set in every area. So, Islam is a whole different animal than Jack's ever been involved with. So if that fight does materialize, we're going to see a hell of a fight, and you're going to see Islam perform at an absolute incredible level. And also, the weight is not super big for him either. So he's going to be a fairly decent welterweight. So Islam won't be a small guy. He'll be a decent welterweight if that fight materializes.
Michael Bisping spoke highly of Della Maddalena, calling his win over Belal Muhammad a defining moment in his career. He praised Jack not only for his impressive skills inside the cage, but also for his polite and grounded personality, describing him as a genuinely respectable person. Bisping highlighted Jack's willingness to take on difficult challenges and noted that his recent success has set the stage for his next major test, a potential showdown with Islam Makhachev, which Bisping believes is on the horizon.
Tonight belongs to Della Maddalena. He's an awesome human being. I've sat down with him several times and had some conversations. Nice guy, quiet guy, a man of few words. But I tell you what, that was an incredible fight tonight. And he'll take on Islam Makhachev. He doesn't care. He wants to be a part of the biggest fights possible. Islam Makhachev versus Della Maddalena. That's the fight that's going to happen.
Renato Moicano said that the possible clash between Islam Makhachev and Della Maddalena should be viewed as a balanced contest. He noted that while Islam's grappling is world-class, moving up to welterweight introduces fresh challenges, such as facing stronger and heavier opponents, and adapting his size and style to compete effectively in the division. Luke Rockhold shared that the potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Della Maddalena would be both challenging and thrilling. He named Islam, Ilia Topuria, and JDM as his current favorite UFC fighters. Rockhold praised JDM's exciting style and dependable wrestling, but emphasized Islam's lifetime of grappling experience. He also addressed the size factor, noting that JDM is naturally larger while Islam has added noticeable mass, making the matchup even more intriguing.
It's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. JDM's fun. He's fun to watch. So, that's going to be a great fight. He's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM, who's kind of like, he's secondary on that, but you know, you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, you know, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, I mean, he's definitely grown, and, you know, we'll see how he carries the weight.
That's it for today's video. What are your thoughts on this potential fight? How do you see their matchup playing out? We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to check out our other recent uploads on the screen.